Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for joining us here on Instagram for another Wine Wednesday. Hey, I'm Christian LaRoche. I'm sales manager for Waldorf Wine Group here in British Columbia. Waldorf Wine Wednesdays. Hey, yeah, we've been doing this since May of 2020. It's our clearinghouse for all things Waldorf Wine Group, and we pivoted online to bring online content at the start of the pandemic, and we've been going ever since. 200 videos and plus later, actually probably close to 250 now. I guess we're getting up there, but yeah, it's a great way to keep up to date with us. We look at all things here. We look at wines that we currently have in the market. We look at wines that we're looking at bringing in the market. Sometimes we'll try some samples. We'll talk about some promos that we're having, maybe some new products that are coming into market and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's just a great way to keep up to date with us. For those of you not familiar with us, we're a small family-owned wine importing company, Waldorf Wine Group. And we were founded back in 1993 by Andy Waldorf, who was still firmly at the helm. And we import European wines into British Columbia and into Alberta, and it's an eclectic portfolio. We run the whole gamut from co-op cellars, class growth Bordeaux, domain Burgundy, grower Champagne, high-end German Rieslings, ultra traditional Rioja, and everything in between. We've got something for everyone. Some really cool wines, perhaps a wee bit off the beaten path, as is the case tonight. Hey, listen, if you haven't done so already, I do invite you, please, follow us here on Instagram. We've been bumping along a little bit, growing a wee bit with our followers. We're about 570 and growing, so thank you very much for following us. If you haven't done so already, please do follow us. Like I said, lots of content here. Hey, just went over 1,000 postings on Instagram. It's crazy. I'm not much of a social media guy, I think of myself, but I guess I am, really. Anyway, but thank you very much for being here along for the ride. We've got some great friends of ours who follow us here all the time. I'm looking at you, David Lancelot. Thank you very much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to see you here. For this week, we're going to go back, we're going back to Spain. But, you know, Spain, when we think about it, we generally think about red wines, and we forget that there's a great assortment of white wines coming out of that country. And again, some a bit off the beaten path, as might be the case tonight. But that's half the fun of it, isn't it? Is the discovery. You don't always want to be drinking the same thing. We're very fortunate because we've got some really cool, eclectic white wine, Spanish white wines in our portfolio. I mean, you know, we've done the our Apate Chacoli, the Basque wine with the slight low alcohol, slightly spritzy. We do our organic La Granadilla Verdejo Rueda from northwestern Spain. We've done our ultra old school Rioja Viña Gravonia from Lopez de Heredia, long barrel aged oxidative style Viura white wine we did a few weeks ago, and we only get eyedropper quantities of that. And then this week we're going in Catalunya. This is a cool wine because it's a little bit of a hybrid. It's southwest of Barcelona. You got a little bit of Mediterranean influence because we're only about 25 kilometers in from the coast, but also a little bit of continental influence. And this is cool because it's a side project from one of our favorite Priorat producers that we bring in, Clos Galena. Let's hook the camera on. I'm going to show what we're trying. I think this wine is very timely too because we're in spring. Things are warming up. People are starting to dine more and more al fresco. And we need wines like these that, again, are super aromatic, that really do well out on the patio, out around the pool, out around the barbecue. If you've got a big gathering, a wedding, an open house, or a drop-in or anything like that going on. Wines like these really come to the fore. Again, not a household name, but a lot of fun. And not very much money either. So let's flip the camera, show what we're trying. We are in Terra Alta, region. This is Secrets de Mar from Clos Galena Winery. This is a side project from Clos Galena. Clos Galena is a winery in Priorat region of Spain, again, southwest of Barcelona. We'll bring that up on the Google Earth map in a wee bit. And it was founded back in around 1999 by a husband and wife's team, Merche Dalmau, and her husband, who fell in love with the Priorat region and acquired some land in the southwest portion of the region in a town called El Molar. And they've branched out since then. They're making some wines in Montsant, the Holy Mountain region, that just surrounds Priorat, Falset, Gratalups, El Molar, that region. And then a little further southwest, down in Gandesa, is the Terra Alta region, kind of the southwest corner of Catalonia. And very, very interesting region. Like I said, a little bit of a hybrid style because, again, Mediterranean influence. We're getting some of those ocean breezes coming in, and then also some of the continental climate from more inland as well, in a high mountain range, the Montsant mountain range, the Holy Mountain range rather, that protects from some of the cooler winds coming in that region. Again, we'll pull this all up on the Google Earth map, but suffice to say, these are cool hybrid wines. Again, not a very, very well-known region. Terra Alta itself, it only became a recognized DO back in 1972, but winemaking's been going on here for a long, long time. I'm talking at least since Roman times. But as is the case of a lot of the regions in Europe, of course, this area was devastated, by phylloxera in the late 1800s and almost wiped out. And one of the only reasons that this region survived was the creation of a lot of cooperative cellars. So a lot of the people who were growing the grapes could grow the grapes and bring them to the co-op and have the wine made there. And what that did is, it shared labor, shared resources, and people not having to necessarily own their own winery or their own bottling line, what have you. And it just made it a little bit easier for people to, do their thing. Now, the one thing that did come as a result of this, and I think for a long time, was as a result of industrialization, it became a little bit more, how should we say, not necessarily factory farming, but more masses of reasonable but not very exciting wine, gallons and gallons of the stuff, or liters and liters of the stuff, I should say. So I guess it was more quantity than quality, and I guess that began to change a wee bit. Now, we think of the Priorat region southwest of Barcelona, which is, abandoned terraced vineyards with old vines that had fallen into disrepair, especially around Gratalups, that started in the 70s and 80s and was revived. And now some of those vineyards are very, very, very valuable to land. And what ends up happening too is an area like Terra Alta becomes a little bit of an incubator for the next generation to come in. So people who can't afford land in the more famous regions of, say, Priorat or what have you, they'll go a little further southwest down to Gandesa and be able to set up shop there, acquire some vineyards that doesn't necessarily set them back in debt for years on end. But also people, it's a good beehive of activity because we get younger generations to come in and are willing to experiment and exchange ideas with the locals and just a little bit more of a, how shall I put it, a cooperative spirit, so to speak. And that's very interesting. I think that goes an awful long way to reviving a region, maybe breathing some new life into it, and just allowing people to experiment a wee bit and try some new techniques as well. So, you know what? I've been talking an awful lot. Flip the camera and show you what we're trying. This is the 2022 Secrets de Mar white wine, which is available here in British Columbia as a restricted speculative product. So it's not available in BCLDB stores. This is only available in private wine shops. These are 6-pack cases, so it's a fun wine to be able to experiment with. If you want to just kick the tires on the 6-pack, give it a try. And what this is, it's a blend of 70% white Grenache, Garnatxa Blanca, a grape that we know quite well from the southern France around Avignon, the Côte de Rhone region, a wee bit in the Languedoc, but also quite a bit in northeastern Spain, Garnatxa Blanca. Cool wines made from this grape. I find that anybody who likes a richer, weightier white may like white Grenache because it's got a lot of cling, mouth-filling texture. It doesn't have to be oaky in the case of this wine. This is all done in stainless steel. But this is 70% white Grenache, but it's also cut with 30% Macabeu. Macabeu is a cool grape as well, too, because it's another grape that we know well, but in other regions. Macabeu in Spain is also used, in Catalonia, used for cava, but also if you go into the Rioja region where it's known as Viura, it can make some wonderful white wines. Lopez de Heredia, who we've been trying, who we bring in, they do an extreme interpretation of Viura, done oxidative winemaking, long time in old American oak. And then you can go the opposite direction with that. You can go all in stainless steel, cool fermentation, and make a young, crisp wine to drink young and fresh. So this one's 70% white Grenache, Garnatxa Blanca, so giving it a bit more body. The 30% Macabeu in this case gives the wine a little bit more of a savory backbone with a little bit more crisp acidity, a little bit of a lift. White Grenache can be quite opulent. And so it's nice to have something to counterbalance that. The other thing that the Macabeu brings to it is a bit of a savory characteristic. You'll get a little bit more of the herbal characteristics rather to the wine too. So an interesting mix and very, very aromatic, medium to full bodied, no oak on the wine too. So, if somebody who likes, say, like Pinot Gris or Chardonnay or Viognier or something that's got a little bit of texture to it, you'd probably like this. I mean, like I said, this is very similar to a white Côte de Rhone, white Chardonnay du Pape or something like that. Kind of goes down that same path rather, but different flavor profile for sure. As mentioned, this is only available at private shops around British Columbia. I grabbed my sample from Marquee Wine Cellars. I know that some of the West Coast liquor shops, like in Kerrisdale, I know carry it, and a few places around town. And check out some of the Spanish restaurants like España and the like, and Como Taperia. They've carried them on and off for a little while too, so it's a great place to kick the tires. Hey, you know what? I think this is a great time. Let's get the bottle out of shot and pull up our Google Earth map and see where we're located here. As mentioned, we are up in northeastern Spain, just southwest of Barcelona. For our purposes, we are, oopsie, I'm getting a little bit lost here. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Just here near Tarragona. We are just over here, is Gratalopes, and then in the Priorat region. And then just a bit south of Gratalopes, southwest, is the village here of El Molar, where Clos Galena is located. But for our purposes, their side project is, again, a slightly further south as well. I'm getting lost again. What am I doing here? Oh, sorry about that, folks. I'm driving's a wee bit off today. We're down in Gandesa here, just a little bit southwest of El Molar. And as mentioned, this was basically the wine industry here was saved by the co-op sellers after phylloxera. But for our purposes, we are just a little bit north of the town, and there's a ridge that runs here, the Barranc del Cureves here. And these are the hills leading up to the Mont Saint Holy Mountain Range. Basically, they're the foothills. And as mentioned, they're not, I'm just going to pull the map back a wee bit. You can see we're not very far away from the Mediterranean here. We're literally only about 20-25 kilometers inland. So we get some of the sea breezes coming in, but the Mont Saint Mountain Range here protects a little bit from some of the cooler northerly winds and the winds coming in from the west. This is also where the Ebro River, one of the longest rivers in Spain, has its outflow here into the Mediterranean, here just below Rhone. And for our purposes, though, like I said, it's a mixture of Mediterranean and continental climates. The average annual temperature is about 16.5 degrees Celsius. They can get up to as hot as 35 degrees Celsius in the summertime, and it kind of goes down to around -5 Celsius in the wintertime. So the soils here, just going to pull it up here, as mentioned, we are just north here near the Barranc del Cureves. And let me just flip here, if I may. I'm just going to pull up a couple of shots. That gives you an idea there, too, going up to the foothills. You can see how red the soil is. The soils here have got a lot of clay in it, a little bit of iron content, lime content. It's poor in organic material, and it allows for good drainage as well. Let's just pull down a little bit here, too. You can see. So, I mean, the mountains here reach about 950 meters above sea level. The vineyards are lower down on the slopes and the valleys and on the plateaus. This wine, like I said, is 70% Garnatxa Blanca. Gives you an idea here. You can see how red the soils are again. 70% white Grenache, 30% Macabeu, which again is known as Viura in Rioja. This is all fermented in stainless steel tanks for about 20 days at 16 degrees Celsius. And then it's aged on the spent yeast cells, the fine lees, for about 2 months. And it picks up a little bit more of that, those, textural characteristics, but without being, creamy, butterscotchy, or viscous. I'm just going to pull the bottle back into shot. 13.5% alcohol, so, medium to full-bodied. Very nice label, too. I really like that abstract painting on there. Very, very spring summery, very al fresco looking. I think this might actually be a good time to perhaps give the wine a try. This is the sort of wine that, again, you can keep it a little bit cool because, again, it has decent acidity, but it's not, a vibrant, crunchy, super high acid like, German Riesling or the like, or maybe some of the that Basque Chacoli that we've had. So again, this is a white wine that you might, higher alcohol. Don't be, you don't have to pull it out so far in advance. Drink it cool, keep it cool as well too, because I find with these higher alcohol whites, if they do warm up too much, they can become a little bit heavy, a little bit cloying, a little bit viscous. If they warm up too much, so no fun there. Check it out. This is 2022. That's the current vintage. 92 points from Decanter Magazine for those of you keeping score. We've got sort of a medium straw color. Not too dark, but holy cow, even just tipping it over there, I can smell just how this is really leaping out of the glass. I'm definitely picking up a lot of white flower like chamomile and definitely picking up some melon and some pear and stuff going on in there too. And definitely a little bit of savory spice. There's something going on there, a little bit like spearmint or fenugreek or fennel and the like. I'm just going to give it a taste and see what we've got. Mmm. 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 Wow. Okay. Wow, that's really got some texture up front, and it really hits you right away. Almost has a little bit of like a honeydew melon note, and it's got a little bit of like a dusty sort of savory, almost like a talcum powder characteristic. A little bit of white pepper as well too, and I'm definitely picking up just a touch of like lime in there as well too. I want one more sip. Mm. 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 Nice. That's quite plump. Expands quite a bit in the mid palate, and then I'm picking up a little bit of that white pepper note again coming out of the finish. That's medium plus bodied. A little bit of fruit tannin going on there. There's no oak on this wine. There is a nice lick of lime tinged acidity that comes in the finish, and that's great. I really like that because that holds it together, keeps the wine again. It's sort of like a central nervous system of a wine. It holds it together without letting it become flabby. I really like that. I think this would be great with like an oily fish or something, grilled fish. I'm thinking sablefish. I'm thinking maybe grilled vegetables, peppers, grilled fennel, that sort of thing. Gourmet mac and cheese, pizza with a white sauce or something like that too. Barbecued chicken, bangers, pork bruschetta, that sort of thing. Lots to do with that. Yeah, we're trying a Catalan wine from the southwest corner from Terra Alta region. This is Secrets de Mar from, this is a side project from Clos Galena winery in Priorat. They started this up a number of years ago. Merche Dalmau and her family. And as I say, this is available here in British Columbia as a restricted speculative product, so only at private wine shops and restaurants. It comes in 6-packs, so it's a great way to experiment with something a wee bit different. Very, very smartly priced. If you're interested in anything, I'll post the SKU and some other details at the end of the video. But if you want to know pricing and availability, you feel free to DM me or drop me a line. That's Christian at waldorfwine.com. And that's Christian, KHRISTIAN at waldorfwine.com. Business. Lots of stuff still arriving. We just got in some new Spec Bordeaux wines in. We've got a lovely Merlot dominant Chateau Margaux Bordeaux as a Spec product. That's owned by Pierre Lurton. Yes, that Pierre Lurton from Chateau Cheval Blanc. We've also got a library release from Chateau Olivier in Pessac-Léognan. We've got their red 2015 in that just came in some 6-packs. We also got a reload order of our Clou du Pin premium cuvée. If this were a white wine, it would be an Entre deux Mers, but what this is 100% Merlot. You should see it, and we call it our baby Chateau Petrus, and the bottle itself looks like Chateau Haut-Brion, so the baby Petrus and the Haut-Brion shaped bottle. It's a bit of a skookum Merlot, 15% alcohol by volume. So if you're a Napa drinker and want to try some Bordeaux, this is a great transitional wine, let me tell you. What else have we got? Our annual shipment of Anjou Rosé, demi-sec, half-dry, Gamay Gros-Lobin, Rosé d'Anjou les Légériens. That's just about supposed to arrive today, 200 cases. So look for that. That's going into the BCLDB. That'll be around $20 a bottle on the shelf. We bring it in every year. It's a great wine, off-dry, fantastic with spicy food. I know a few licensees have been asking me when that's going to be back. It took a little while to get here. We had a little bit of a delay, but it should be rolling in any day now. So I think that's about all we've got time for this week. I do invite you to follow us here on Instagram if you have not done so already. We'd love to have you join us here. As mentioned, we do this every Wednesday. It's a great way to keep up to date. So yeah, please do follow us if you haven't done so already. Not sure what we're going to do next week. We're going to have to dig into the tickle trunk and see what's there, but we'll find something cool to taste and talk about. Anyway, I'm Christian. So glad you could join us. Take care. See you soon. Bye for now.